All right, folks, give us 1 second. We'll be right back here on this episode of D&D Order of the Wolf. We're doing a session to where it's going to be taking place after the scene from our last episode, to where you'll be able to kind of see what's going to transpire between Scarlet and Thois. It's because I don't want other people to know what's happened, because they wouldn't know what's happening. So I'm doing this beforehand so we can kind of get everyone caught up with what's going to happen, and you'll see when it happens, because I'll say it on the stream. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, folks. Sorry, bear with us for just a second. We're almost ready. We're getting some last minute stuff set up, and then we will be good to go here in just a second. Making sure Curly's ready to go. She's getting there right now. Once she's ready to go, we'll be able to launch. So stay tuned, and we'll see you here in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on Bullets 29 Gaming. Bullets 29 Gaming D&D session of Order of the Wolf. We're going to be doing a session here with Curly. The reason why is this is going to be taking place during a session part of today. So it'll make sense once again I get a little bit more into it, a little bit more. But during the session tonight at 4:30 or 4:30 Pacific Standard Time to or it would be 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a little bit more up to date what's going to happen here and later on and during that session. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump on in. Make sure you check out our sponsors, Rogue Energy, AK Racing, and W Energy for stuff as always. And we hopefully will we're going to get you going on this episode of Bullets 29 Gaming Dungeons and Dragons Order of the Wolf. Are you ready, Miss Curly? All right, then let us begin this session of Order of the Wolf. All right, so what we're going to do is right now, I'm going to have it on this screen right now just because, you don't know exactly what's going on. So what we're going to do right now is at this point in time, you are surrounded by your comrades. And this man comes into the room telling you that, you need to stay with him. You need to stay with him. You look back at Thois. Okay. This is all going to be transpiring during the time of during the time span of let's get this going off real quick. During the time span of Thois had just did something to save your life. You don't know exactly what happened to a full extent. The only thing that you know is that you spoke with Lord Baron. And you tried to do something, and all of a sudden everyone's like, what the heck, Scarlet? What the heck? You're trying to burn down the whole city? The guard looks at you and he goes, go with him. I want you to take a what are you gonna do? Are you looking at the group? Are you looking at Thois, or what are you doing?
I'll look back at our group.
Okay.
And tell them that just so you guys know, I'll explain everything of what happened. But I have to be with Thois right now. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay. At this point, you then take a look around and you look at Thois. I need you to roll a insight check for me real quickly.
Insight, here you go. Hey.
Hey, now you're getting the good rolls. Okay, so you look and you see Thois. Now, Thois, the problem is he's still kind of lit up a little bit. His light up had gone away, but it lit up. Now, we did a session with you earlier today already with your spirit walk. The thing is, you reminiscence back a little bit after everything had happened. When you thought back, when you saw his wings open and you're in his spirit form, and he was lit up. I need you remember that time when you were back in the forest outside of Korothia during that encounter with your parents for the first time. There was a figure lit up in the background behind you, overwatching you, looking over you. And you come to the realization that that was Thois, that he had been watching you this whole time, looking over you. And at this point, you see Thois reach out his hand to you as the cart starts to move down the roadway. As you start exiting the town, you start exiting the town of Korothia on horseback and in a carriage, essentially, well, a cart per se. Voice on the back of the cart. Kiara laying down next to him. He holds his hand out to you. What do you do?
So is there space for me to sit in the back of the cart?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so I'll sit in the back with him, kind of beside him. And I want to say this to him.
Okay.
So I see you've always been watching me over, haven't you? You're constantly suffering all the time being around me. I don't want you to feel like I'm some sort of, what's the word? I'm not going to say damsel in distress, but I don't want you to feel like you always have to protect me all the time. Although I appreciate it, but I feel like you suffer so much because of me. And you don't deserve that.
He tries to find the strength to say something to you, but he just continues to hold your hand as a tear begins to roll down his face. Kiara's laying her head on his chest. He can't find the strength. I need you to do a medicine check for me real quick. Okay. And then the next one I need you to do is I need you to do an Arcana check for me.
Oh my god.
Scratched both of those. Okay.
I just boosted those two.
Yeah, that kind of sucks a little bit there. He tries to find the strength to say something, but he can't. He just holds your hand. He holds it closely, and he puts it on his cheek as the tears roll down his face. At this point, you start making your way towards a roadway in the forest, and that's where we're going to bring this screen up now so everyone can see. You are here. Okay, so you're on the roadway right now. You're traveling towards Irathlon. Irathlon is if you remember, the Elvish town. Is where the Elvish king is at. And the road is a little bumpy, but you continue to make your way down there. Some time goes by. I need you to roll again an Arcana check. That's a little bit better. At this point, you start to see the color of him start to fade. His skin tone and his eyes and his appearance is dwindling. Not quickly, but at a steady rate from him. And it is because of the dark magic. You know this from the dark magic. The dark magic is a magic that will take anything pure and true that comes in contact, depending on how it's used, or who interferes with it, can cause spiritual damage. And you see that his breathing is labored. It's labored breathing. As he lays in the cart, his eyes close, as tears continue to roll down his side of his face. What do you do?
I'd wipe his tears away and try to see if I could heal him. Like, at least to kind of make him
Like a
last
slow
little-
down? kind of
Yeah,
thing?
to slow it
Okay.
down, basically. Yeah.
Do another Arcana check because it's a magic check. So go ahead and do another Arcana check and mix that with with a health check as well. So
Yeah.
17k, so that's for your arcane check. So you do it. So do your health check now.
How do I do the health check?
Or a medicine check, sorry.
Oh.
A medicine check. It's a medicine check. Okay. So you put your hand on his chest. You channel in your spirit of nature. Again, imagining the wind blowing, the sounds of the horse, the sound of Kiara breathing, the sound of the wind blowing in the grass, the trees, the wind. And at this point, you hear a wolf howl in the background. A wolf howl that's familiar to you. And it's part of your druid clan. But it's not your father's wolf. It's not your mother's wolf. You want to take a guess whose wolf it is?
Mine?
It's yours. Your spiritual wolf. Your wolf howls in the background as you try to channel in deep into it. Now you close your eyes and you picture this whole thing. Okay? This is what you see. Thois. All of a sudden, you see Thois as a child, casted out in the celestial realm, in a forest, crying, alone. And a little panther make his way up, or her way up to him. He's cold, he's hungry, and the wind and rain are pouring down upon him as he tries to find shelter underneath a rock. Spends the night there. At that point, you then see a flash forward to meeting Kiara. Well, he's met Kiara, but Kiara and her family taking care of him. You then notice a familiar face, the face of Drax, as Kiara and Thois make their way towards the druid realm of Duskfall, familiar place that you're familiar with as a child. He tries to channel in his spirit form, tries to channel in everything else like this that he knows, his powers. Draxus is teaching him, and you see this. And he fails. And he tells himself, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. Over and over and over again. I can't do it. And as you do this, you then see him in frustration as Kiara again tries to comfort him during that experience. It fast forwards over to the birth of you. Now, he's a teenager at this time. And you see your father and your mother at your birth. And you see Thois and Kiara by his side. Now, Thois and Kiara are then approached by the king, your father. You can't hear what he's saying, but you see Thois nod his head. And then you see the First Order. First Order were Lord Baron, King Acton, Thois, and the others involved. Around a banner of a black banner of a wolf with a rose in its mouth. At that point, it then fasts forward more to a great battle that took place. And you see Lord Baron. You see others fall to the ground as they die in this great battle. Voice crying in anger and in sadness, as he then jumps onto Kiara and rides back to Duskfall, where you then see the circle of where your parents had died. And you see Thois enter in. And as you see a figure turn around. And you see the troll. And beside him, Lord Baron. You see the troll turn back around and make contact with your parents as they stab him. Stab both of them. And they fall. Voice lets out a loud no from the screaming at the top of his lungs. And you see in the distance, in the corner, a little girl, about teenage age. That's you. As you watch this, Lord Baron approaches you, picks you up, and exits out of the circle, while Thois tries to charge after them as he's met with multiple arrows. He gets up, tries to push forward even more with Kiara. Finally, Kiara falls, and Thois lets out another loud scream. Tries to stand up with his sword in the ground, trying to push pressure on to stand up. Gets up again. Is met with more arrows and is finally pushed back against the wall by the troll king, or the troll druid. And with one hand, he holds him by the neck on the wall, takes his knife and stabs him straight to the heart. You then see the dark cloud, a dark smoke in there. And this magic that you conjure, the wolf, all of a sudden you see this wolf come in and chase a crow. A crow that is encircling around him. And as this crow is chased out, you see the entity pull out. And you open your eyes and you see Thois not having his eyes open. And you look over at Kiara and you see Kiara staring straight at you. What do you do?
I hope you're okay, Thois. I hope it all makes sense. You always were there for me, even when I was young. I don't remember all of it. It makes me feel a little guilty that I don't remember. You can make it, I hope. Maybe if I can try to put some kind of like calming flowers kind of around him a little bit.
Okay, you want to put some flowers around him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
Okay, you put some flowers around him. At this point, you continue to move forward as your hand still rests on Thois. Kiara picks her paw up and puts it on top of yours and lays her head down by your hand. You continue to move forward. As you approach the outskirts of the town, you make it to closer and closer. From the distance, you see towers from the distance start to emerge of yellow and gold, and you know that you are approaching the town of Ithron. His voice is still staying the same color. His breathing is still labored. Kiara picks her head up, looks him on the face, and lays it down again. The driver behind, or in front of you, looks behind you and goes, "We're almost there."
Okay, thank you.
At this point, you pass a bend in the road, and you make it to a river crossing on the outskirts of Irithlon. And as you get there, continue down the road, and finally you start to see a town emerge. Great yellow and gold colors. When you approach the bridge to this great, massive capital of white stone and of white and gold leaves upon everything. Yellow and gold banners on the entrances. As you enter this town, you see the riders that are escorting you run forward. The driver of the cart to pick up speed. As you make your way across the bridge into the town, you finally get to the point to where you are now in the streets. Now within the streets, you see banners of, ironically, yellow and gold and red and gold. Now the colors red and gold is a new color that you've never seen before. It is for celestial beings. As your carriage or as your cart starts to make its way through the town, your gentleman approaches the cart, grabs a flag that bears two wings on it. Two wings and a rose. And they drape it over Throis. And you hear them say, "Make way! Make way! Wounded coming through! Wounded coming through!" You finally make it closer and closer. You pass the town. You make your way past another under another section. And you make it over to finally something like this. And you finally make it through this last over the archway. And you approach this. And the cart it stops. The cart stops where it's at. Some people approach the cart. Kiara looks up at them and growls. They step back in a little bit in fear. What do you do?
I kind of So I'll kind of do a few things. So first I want to kind of, sort of like, kind of cuddle. This is going to be weird to describe. Like kind of like, you know, like how you hold a baby. Like kind of almost hold Toys like that a little bit where his head's resting in her arms.
Yep.
Give him a quick little kiss on the cheek. And then I get off the cart. And I ask the people, I'm sorry, how can we help you?
We're here to assist in the healing of the dark magical entity that's residing in him. We have, I believe, either a wolf or something else here as well that's been affected by the dark magic as well, that we're treating, and it's in recovery right now. But we were told that there's Thois, the guardian of the orders, was on his way here. We had to have a room prepared for him.
I see. How's the wolf doing as well, if you don't mind me asking?
The wolf is recovering. She's gonna make it. She's weak at this point in time. She's not quite awake yet, but we're monitoring her health and her progress very closely.
I appreciate you doing that a lot, actually. If it's okay, we're ready for you whenever, and if it's okay if I stay with him in the room.
I don't have any problem with that. I don't feel there's any problem with that. But we can't get anywhere with that panther hovering over her.
Forgive us. This is Kiara. This is his guardian, essentially. She was just unsure of who you guys were.
She's still hovering over him, but go ahead and go with your question.
Quick question as well. I have this dark mark as well. I mean, I'm wondering if you could also take a look at it.
He takes a look at it and he goes, kind of looks down at it, and then he looks up with you again. Looks back down at it. Looks up at you again. Looks around at the guys behind him. Were you the one that conjured this?
Wait, you mean the mark, or what happened to Toy Story?
This is the mark. When someone tries to conjure dark magic. Did you conjure dark magic?
That mark that's on me, no. That was Lord Baron.
They look back at each other. Kind of pause. Look back at you. I don't know. But we can definitely take a look, but we don't have time for Toys. We've got to take care of him.
I understand completely. I just thought it was a quick question. Kiara, it's okay, sweetheart. It's okay.
Kiara continues to growl.
It's okay. I'll stay with you too if that makes you feel better. Okay, Kiara? I'll make sure that we're safe.
She kind of moves slowly towards the edge of the cart, ears down, and a pouncing gesture. Looking around frantically, all around her.
So I'll kind of go up to Kiara and kind of slowly just kind of pet her gently, just to kind of calm her.
Closes her eyes, and for the first time, you've never seen her do this, for the first time, you see a tear roll down her eyes. She jumps down from the cart. And sits down next to the cart. What do you do?
So I'll follow Kiara, make sure she's still okay.
Well, they haven't moved yet. They're still terrified of the panther. The panther is still terrifying them.
Kiara, why don't you go say hi? It's okay. I'll come with you if that's better.
They kind of take a step back.
It's okay, guys. Just it's okay.
They move forward slowly. She sniffs them. She sits down. The guards look at each other and look at you and go, "Is it safe?" "I don't know. Is it safe? I don't know. I think it's safe." One of the guys kind of pushes through and says, "Come on, guys, let's go." Approaches Thois to pick him up, take him up the stairs into up the stairs of the castle. You see this castle. As you approach into the castle, the guards start to work on him. Some time goes by. And it's about nighttime. It's it's nighttime. And there's guards outside the room. Kiara is outside the room. You weren't allowed to be inside, but you were allowed to be close by, so that the individuals who were working on the dark magic can focus on what they need to do. Kiara laying by the door with her head facing the door at the little ledge underneath the opening underneath the door, at the gap in the middle and at the underside. And you just see her laying there. You want to do anything?
So I kind of look around the room, kind of, if possible, to kind of watch them a little bit as to what they're doing with Joyce, checking on him, and keeping an eye on Kiara.
There's openings that you can kind of look in and see. They're doing a chant, and they're trying to have people that laying hands on them. And you see this white light, start to be emanating from them as they try to push forward to try to get this dark entity out of him. They continue to move quickly. They bring herbs, oils. They wipe his head. You see him start to sweat a lot. His breathing starts to increase rapidly. And all of a sudden you hear them say, "We're losing him. Quickly, grab more of those flowers, quickly. Crush them up, quick." You see Kiara kind of lift her head up, start scratching at the door. As they try to hold him down, and they try to do a prayer and to do a chant over him to try to subside this evil that's in him. And finally, Thois lays motionless on the ground. Kara stops to scratch at the door. They wipe his head. And they ask each other, "Did we get it?" You see from his mouth a black sphere cloud. Exit. They put it into a bottle. They seal it. hands it to one of the guys. They're in the room and they walk off. They continue to wipe him, take care of him, pour some water down his throat, toss some food down his throat as well, some soup. They continue to try to make sure that his body signs or his signs of health are still there. And one of them starts to approach the door. And they exit. And they come out. Arms folded or hands clasped together. Miss Scarlet. Well,
Yeah.
Queen Scarlet. Your Majesty is weak. But we did get the entity out. You may go see him now.
Thank you.
The doors open. Kiara bolts to Thois. Sniffs and tries to nudge his head. What do you do?
I sit beside him on the other side of Kiara, holding his hand, and honestly in a lot of tears because obviously she caused that, and she's scared because of what she's done and scared how he's gonna feel, kind of thing. So just really just crying like crazy and a bunch of moves going on, basically of an anger as well, because you know.
I told you it was going to be a big day for you.
Yeah.
So as you do this, you continue to watch over him, and you see or you don't see, but you feel him just grasps your hand tighter. And you know he's there. He's weak, but you know he's there. And as you do this, you continue to experience the feelings that you're feeling of responsibility, regret, and of remorse for what happened. Some time goes by and he opens his eyes and looks up at you. His eyes are red because of sweat and tears, pain. That of somebody being sick. Their eyes are, around their eyes are red.
Yeah.
Their eyelids are red. Yeah, stuff like that. He looks up at you, caresses your face, and he says to you in a very, very weak voice, like I said, I am always with you. Takes his thumb and he wipes your tear away on his eye, on your eyes.
I'm so sorry what I did. She's just apologizing like crazy. You don't deserve all this. You don't deserve to be tortured like this.
You have nothing to apologize for. Nothing. He looks at you. He closes his eyes. Weak. And continues to sleep. Kiara walks over to you. Lays her head on your lap. And lays down next to Thois. For the first time in your experience with Thois and Kiara, you hear a voice from the background, from a distance. He's always cared for you, Scarlet. As have I. You look around and you look over at Kiara. And she's looking right at you. What do you do?
That's all I'll say to Kiara. You've always been there with me too, and you've always saved so many people as well. I'm glad you're not upset with me. And I kind of cuddle her head a bit.
She begins to purr. She tells you he's always cared for you. He's always cared for you, Scarlet. Always. He's always been there for you. What's best for you. The day you were born, we made a promise to your father that we would look after you, keep you safe. You see, it's not you who needs to be apologizing. It's us. As she looks over to Thois, looks back to you. We failed your father. To protect him, his kingdom, and most importantly, his prized possession, you. He loves you, Kira says. He loves you. He cares so much about you that he would lay his life down for you. Kiara looks at you, nudges you in the head, stands up, and walks over to the door and just lays down there and just stares at you two. What do you do?
I say to Thois, I guess I may not have known, but I had a feeling that I felt the same, but I wasn't fully sure until I saw you again. Kiara was injured. I remembered everything. Now it's my turn to be there for you. You've always been there for me. And give him a kiss on the lips if possible.
up to you. So what you want to do? Okay.
Yeah. Say that and then
Okay. All right. So you kiss him on the lips. He squeezes your hand, and a tear rolls down his eyes. And as the doors open, the guard comes in and says, Prince Scarlet, he must rest. He needs to rest. You can come see him in the morning.
Okay. Thank you again for taking care of him. But before I go, I just wipe his tear and then give him one quick little peck on his forehead and go. Actually, wait. Before I leave, after I do that part, be like, rest well, my love. You've always done me proud and you've never failed me. And then I leave.
Okay. All right. So you go to a room. And some time go by. And a couple of days go by while you're in town. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. Right quick. The reason why is because this is going into another part in today's session as well. So this is happening before the rest of the group gets to Irithlon. This next part's going to take place while they're there, while Thois is recovering. They make it into the town finally. So we're going to jump ahead a few, like probably a day or so. So we'll be right back after this quick break. We'll see you in a second. back. We are back. We are back. All right. So right now, a lot's happened. My goodness, a lot has happened. Whew. I'll tell you. All right. So what's going to happen now is you are in your room. You're in your room right now. And you hear some days have gone by. Okay. You're in the room and you hear in the distance this. And as you hear this song, you hear footsteps outside of your room on your window. And you can hear the walking outside your window. Now your window is overlooking the bay. There's a bay. Now, if you remember, Irithlone is on the coastline, with ports and everything else like that. And it's looking over to the ocean. And there's a balcony, kind of like the one that you see in the map right now. There's a balcony like that. On the very top right hand or left hand corner, you'll see there's a balcony and a window. That's what your window looks like in your balcony. Below you, there's a balcony again, like the one that's down below on the bottom. And you hear those footsteps outside. What do you do? Do you want to? What do you want to do?
Kind of just thinking of maybe kind of going outside, like just out there
On the balcony?
Kind of yeah, just on the balcony, kind of just let everything sink in, and
okay.
But also still crying over everything because she's still upset about what she did.
Right, and it's obviously some time has gone by, right?
Yeah. And she hasn't heard anything either, so she's still worried.
Right. Sorry, folks. I'm also eating because I haven't had a chance to eat. I'm not gonna have a chance to eat probably for the next 5 hours. So I better do it now while I get a chance. So at this point, you see essentially from the balcony of your room, Lois in a robe, not in his normal garments that you normally have seen him in, but in a robe. And he's standing on the balcony, looking out. From behind him, on the pathway, on the causeway, you see Kiara kind of making her way up, standing next, and then sits next to him. He rests his hand on her head and pets it, and he looks out into the ocean. Oh, what do you do?
I turn around and I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, you're still okay. Oh, thank God. And then I kind of give him a big hug.
Well, you're on the second floor. You're like 2 floors up. He's on the ground level. You're on the top.
Oh, whoops.
So you're looking down and seeing this.
Then I run to him then.
Okay.
That way. Sorry.
Okay. So you essentially bolt out of your room. And I gotta roll because I gotta make sure no one. Let's do one. We're gonna roll. Oof. Okay. You're running. Can you pass that go? She just kind of looks at you while you're running and she goes, what? Or you keep running. As you run by, you run down to the steps, and you kind of stop, and you see Thois just looking out. What do you do?
I kind of cautiously come up to him. Because she's still a bit nervous about everything, about what she did to him. So she kind of just gently comes up beside him, kind of stands beside him, and kind of awkwardly kind of looks at him and then looks down.
Okay.
I thought it would make sense.
Thois says, while he's looking out to the ocean, "There's nothing to apologize, Scarlet." He reaches out, puts his hand around your waist. Nothing. As he continues to look out.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop worrying. I feel like I owe you so much, though, for everything.
He turns into you, looks at you as the moonlight is shining down upon you too. Puts his hand on your face. Scarlet, I made a promise to your father to look out for you, to protect you, to guide you. That is what I'm doing, and what I will always do.
What do you say back to him? Yeah, I was just supposed to say. I'll say back to him. I'm like, but I have a feeling there's more, isn't there? Or am I misreading these signs a bit?
No, you're not. I will always love you and care for you. Wherever time will take us, whatever trials we have to endure, whatever evils we face, I will always be there for you. He puts his forehead on yours.
Did my parents plan this? She kind of makes a joke about it.
He laughs. No. Quite the opposite.
Oh.
God damn it. Okay. I did a roll, so that's why.
She's kind of surprised a bit by that. That's all.
I did a roll, so that's why I was laughing. All right, so I gotta make a note of that. Hold on, I gotta make these notes. All right. One note. Sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. I gotta make these notes. Um. It sucks because I know how the other players play, so it's like, ah. Okay, so at this point, you see these entities appear, white lights and wolves appear. Now, you and Thois are about right somewhere like this. Okay. The entities that appear are right here. They appear. They move closer to you. They're wolves. And I'm thinking you can guess who they are.
Yeah, her mom and dad, basically.
Okay. What do you do?
Oh, hi, Mom, Dad. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Okay. you know,
Hi.
you know, like how you get that
How's it
awkward
going?
moment, right, with your parents, and yeah. That's why she's acting like.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So.
kind of. Did you plan this? As they stare at both of them. Well.
Unfortunately, quite the opposite, my dear. However, I couldn't see anyone better.
Your Majesty. As Thois nods and bows to the king, the past king, queen.
Thois, you have sacrificed so much of yourself to protect my daughter. Protect her interests, to protect her thoughts. To serve your duty. To give your life so willingly. I could see no better person.
Your Majesty. What do you do?
I think it's my turn now to give you back for everything that you've done. I couldn't have asked for a better man in my life. You're just so patient with me. I don't understand how you can take that. But I give him a hug, embrace him basically.
It's funny because I can go like as soon as the people here realize this in like our group that's playing this, they're gonna be going, "What?" I'm just here. I just see it like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh wait, isn't it Plague's character that like adores you? Adores Thois anyway?
Yes, it's Plague's character. Yeah, it's Plague.
He's gonna be jealous.
Yeah, he is. Wait, what? So as you're sitting here experiencing this, you start to get a along with Thois, you start to get a disturbing thought of Lord Baron And all of a sudden, a dark shadow appears from behind you. Thois turns around. You turn around. And your mom and dad look towards. And before you now stands Lord Baron in the shadows. Thois quickly puts you behind him. Your dad next to Thois. Your mom behind your father. In between you and Thois, protecting you. And all of a sudden you hear
Well, would you look at that? A family reunion. Oh, I could not ask for anything better.
What do you want, Baron? Thois says.
What I've always wanted. Her.
And he points to you.
You'll never have her. You'll have to go through us first.
And he says to you all,
In time. Which is not now, but in time. I will have her. And the order will fall. Know this. War is only just beginning.
we will face it head on then. And you will not make it to see another day, Lord Baron. You will not get what you want. The order lives on through all of us, and you will not stop us.
Oh, you fool. You fool, you do not understand the magic and the power the dark magic can provide. You of all people should know. It can kill those in spiritual form.
And from behind him, you see another spirit form. A rabbit. And he holds it in front of him. I need you to make a history check for me real quick.
$15.
Okay. It's one of your ancestors. He points his finger at it. Shoots some dark magic. And your ancestor shrieks in pain as it drops to the ground. And you see the light dissipate from them. Thois tries to run forward, but your father stops him. Father goes,
You will pay, Lord Baron. You will pay, brother. This is not who you are.
You fool. You made me into who I am. Now you must live with the consequences.
And all of a sudden you see this spiral of dark cloud spiral up around him, and he disappears from in front of you. What do you do?
I try to run up to Toys to make sure he's okay.
Thoy's kind of kneels down and in pain. He's obviously not healed all the way. Trying to catch his breath a little bit. His heart and his adrenaline's rushing a little bit. As a result, he doesn't have his full strength quite ready yet. Your mother walks up to you too. Your father makes his way over to the rabbit. Bows his head. Picks the rabbit up in his mouth. Walks back over. Sets it down. It was Freeland. Sweetheart, it was Freeland. Your mother looks up at your husband, or your father, King Acton. And she goes, not Freeland. She did nothing. He looks down and goes, I'm so sorry. Picks up the rabbit, starts to walk away. Your mother looks at you, tears in her eyes. And slowly starts to turn and walk away. Back towards the entrance of the castle. What do you do?
So the bunny's no longer there, correct?
The bunny is no longer there. Your father has taken the bunny. Because I know what you were going to do.
Yeah. So I kind of...
I know you too well, Scarlett. I know you too well.
So I kind of, you know, like move a bit away, a little bit, and just sit there. Actually, no, we'll stand. And kind of cry over what just happened. And then I'll say, I can't take this anymore. Why does every little beautiful thing always end or have a dark thing every single time?
Lois gets up, slowly walks over to you, and embraces you. He goes, I know this is hard. I know this is hard, dear, but you've got to stay strong. You've got to show the others that you are strong. You can show your weakness to me, but show the others that you are strong. You're firm. You're courageous. You must show them. He just holds you. At that point, you both start to walk back into the castle. And you walk into a room. And you both get into bed. Let me go to sleep. But you're in tears. As Lois holds you. Kiara at the foot of the bed. Laying down. Khaleesi close by. Finally making it to your location. Next to Kiara. At this point, the new day comes. And And this is where we're going to end our part for this session. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone enjoys the session that we're going to have today, because it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm pretty sure that Curly will agree with me on this. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be packed filled with action, drama, suspensefulness, the what the hell kind of things going on. So we're really super excited. So as always, thanks for tuning in today. What we're going to do is actually go over to our BRB screen, and we're going to switch over to our recap screen, and kind of recap a little bit with Miss Scarlet, and see how things went for a little bit today. So give us 1 second and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were back. We're going to switch over to our BRB score, to our live stream, displaying our logo. And we're going to just talk it over with Curly a little bit on how things worked out, how things happened. Kind of tell us, what emotions were you feeling through this session today?
Honestly, like, obviously in a romantic mood in a way for obvious reasons. But she also is feeling kind of angry in general at herself, and how Baron always seems to magically show up every time and kind of ruins all the good little moments she has in her life.
What about the cart experience, the experience that you experienced on the cart?
Going through, like, seeing the visions of him and how he was always there for her. At certain points, because I know at sessions back she had that conversation with her parents about arranged, so she kind of thought, maybe they planned her with somebody different, but I guess maybe he was young, whatever, could have passed on. But with the Thois cart part, she was worried about him. Like, she felt guilty. She felt like she almost killed him. Like, she started to feel like she was essentially a murderer, really.
I think
and
she also
did nothing.
Yeah, I think she also felt like helpless. Like, she couldn't really do anything. I mean, she tried to, but I think realistically she just felt like she couldn't do anything. I think that was a big deal for her. I mean, I think for her it was just that she was trying to do stuff to try to help him, but she couldn't. There's nothing that she could do to really help. I mean, she tried to subside the stuff, and she ultimately could have saved his life. But I mean, in all honesty, she did. The fact that you passed that medicine check, I'll just go ahead and tell you, the fact that you passed that medicine check, you saved his life. Realistically. So, and then kind of walk us through the whole experience with how do you think Scarlet felt when she saw him in the room?
Like, in general, like, while she was watching him, like, getting better, and they said that they were gonna lose her, she essentially was kind of really upset about the whole thing. Like, oh my god, am I going to be charged with murder? Is this going to happen to me? Is this going to happen?
Right.
Like, and she's worried about explaining everything to the army and explaining
right, because
the party members.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, because they wanted to kick your butt earlier.
Yeah.
So, but like in regards to like what you experienced in the room, like what was your take on that whole aspect? Like, what was your take on the whole thing with seeing Thois like that?
honestly devastated. I thought we wouldn't have him anymore around. 'Cause that really sucks because he's always like just a real like every time he comes.
Right.
So that would have sucked if he didn't come at all. And then just feeling how, in a sense, like how she felt towards him and how she felt like she was, because obviously a relationship is equal, right? As equal as possible, and she thought she was giving him nothing. So she
Right.
felt really guilty about that. Yeah.
So, and then walk me through a little bit of how you felt when Kiara talked to you for the first time. That's the first time she's ever talked to you. But that's something that, a spirit formed animal can do. They can talk. But that's the first time she's ever talked to you. She's never talked to you before. That's the first time she's ever talked to you.
Yeah, she was surprised at that, and if Kiara didn't speak, I don't think she fully would have understood how much Thois loved her, essentially. And then her seeing all those back memories, and I was shocked about that, to be honest. I didn't know that animals could talk like that.
Well, she's a spirit form, so I mean, with her being a spirit form, they can sometimes do that. So, so obviously she was, it's a big deal for her. Now we're going to talk about the hard part. Lord Baron. We're going to go over to Lord Baron. How do you feel about that situation that just happened? You and Thois were out on the balcony having a conversation. And what do you feel happened? What do you think?
I thought Baron, and now I can't say the proper word for this, so I'm gonna call him, he's a complete butthole. He ruined the moment. I got so mad at that. God damn it. I almost want to give him the finger, essentially.
I know which word you're thinking of. We're not gonna say it.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
So how did that whole experience, after it happened, like the way your father and Thois were in front and your mother was with you in the back, seeing the two guys that you love love immensely, all of a sudden tossing themselves in front of Lord Baron, who obviously is very powerful. I mean, the magic that he used, that you tried to conjure, almost killed Thois, and the magic killed one of your ancestors. How did that make you feel? How did that make Thois feel, or Scarlet feel?
So I think for her, I think she got a clear understanding of how now she fully understands why not to use it. Because she almost killed Thois, and then obviously she saw her best friend basically die in rabbit form. So she's not going to conjure it again, but also developed an understanding as to why to not use it, and she will not do that again.
I'm glad you picked up Freylin was remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but Freylin was mentioned in a previous stream, and Freylin was Scarlet's close friend as a kid. And the thing is that I think the reason why Lord Baron would choose her to have it be the one that he killed was because he wanted to know that it didn't matter what her dad or Thois or her mom or whoever her ancestors were, he could still get to her regardless. I think it was his message that he's trying to send to her. And I think she picked up on that, but I think she's just in a state of what the hell kind of thing. So, anything else you want to add to it? Like, how's Scarlet feeling? How's Scarlet trying to comprehend everything? Stuff like that.
think it's a lot clearer for her. Now she's fully figuring out exactly how to solve this now in general, and not, like, obviously dark magic's not the answer. So she's hoping that because Thois forgave her for what she did, hopefully everyone else will feel the same, she hopes.
Yeah, how do you feel when he said that to you? Like, what was going through Scarlett's mind when he said that? I was actually curious about that, because I was like, here's this guy who, like, almost died because of her, almost, has lost a lot of his family members that he grew up with because of this Lord Baron guy that's been chasing her. Like, how does he feel about this whole? How does she feel about this whole thing?
She feels really guilty again about all of that, and now, like, understands why not to, like I said, not to use it, and the consequences and the consequences of using it, and how, in a sense, like, you have to sacrifice something to get that power, and she doesn't feel like that's right. So she's not gonna conjure that, and to be honest with you, how the hell has Thois got a very high tolerance for her?
Honestly, I'm glad you picked up on that, because I haven't said that at all yet, but that's exactly what it is. Anytime that this dark magic is used, you'll notice that there's a sacrifice, that there's something that's lost, something that's very dear that's lost. And I'm glad you picked up on that, because that's the whole point behind it. The consequence of using this dark magic is that you lose somebody. And I'm glad that Scarlett's finally picked up on that, because I don't think for a long time, I don't think she picked up on it. I don't think she truly understood it until recently, until she actually used it and then almost lost Thois. So I'm really happy to see that your character picked up on that. So
yeah, because, and also, actually, this is more of a little bit of a personal, but in a way, the relationship between her and Thois kind of actually reminds me of Brad and I. There are times where I feel like he does so much more for me, and then at times I feel like I don't as much. So I kind of like that, actually, how it kind of brought that up a bit. It made me feel like that in a way, and so kind of reminded me of my own personal relationship. So that was nice, actually. I appreciated that little twist.
That's good.
In there. Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to say to the stream before we end it?
Yeah, I'll say I hope you guys enjoyed the stream in general. Hope Scarlett is now makes a lot of sense for all of you in general. Because I understand her, like her said, her spirit walk wasn't there. You guys got double session of her today, so hopefully that's a little treat for you guys, which I really enjoyed doing both of them for you guys. And like I said, I was honestly thinking of doing the spirit walk for you guys in general, because I think I literally asked bullets a few hours ago.
Yeah, just for everyone that's watching, just fun fact, I actually was planning on doing this with her, and I woke up this morning and I was like, hey, by the way, we're gonna be doing this, and she's like, huh, funny you should mention that, because I was actually thinking the same thing. I was like, well, I guess that's gonna how it's gonna be then. So it was actually pretty funny that we were actually planning on doing it anyway, so but we thought of it at the same time, so it was pretty funny. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I hope you enjoy what you're gonna see in the future. I hope you enjoyed the session that we had with Curly today. It was really good. I think it's gonna, I really do think. How do you think today's session's gonna go, Curly?
I'm actually very excited for it, even more so than I was after the last one. Actually, after Eris's Spirit Walk, to be honest with you. I'm excited about how it's all going to pan out, and I'm very curious how everyone's reactions were going to be based on what happened. So
Yeah,
that's what
so
I'm looking most forward to.
So am I. I'm actually very curious to see what's going to happen. I'm very curious to see what happens. So
without one more thing I want to add.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to add one more. So I'm not going to lie, at the beginning, like, when I said to the party, basically, like, I'll be right back, I gotta be with Thois, I am not gonna lie, I pictured Rayla's voice being like, oh gosh, she's going again.
Yeah.
I pictured that.
So
Here she goes again. Bye.
and you'll see some of these parts interlooping with each other on today's session, which it's supposed to. It's supposed to interloop. So the first scene that you're going to be seeing today is the part where Thois is taken off in a cart, and they see that Scarlet and her are gone. And that's pretty much it. And then you just will jump to them, getting on the way to Earthlone, and then they'll have a part where they're here. So it's gonna be kind of cool to see how it kind of intertwines together, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see that. So without any further ado, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the content that you saw. As always, make sure you check out our Bullet 29 Gaming family links. They're down below. There's a Discord. We also have a kickback pack where a bunch of us just play games. That's actually where a lot of these D&D group members are coming from. They're coming from our kickback pack that really wanted to do a D session. I think I'm just an okay DM, but everyone thinks I'm a great DM. That's fine. They can have their own opinions. I'm not the best, but it doesn't matter. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Everything that they saw today. If you're interested in staying connected, make sure you hit the follow and subscribe button, as well as make sure you check out our Twitch, our YouTube, or Twitter. Yep, Twitter and Discord. There's a link to the Discord fan server down below, as well as the Discord to the kickback pack down below as well if you want to join that kickback pack. As always, thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, we'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night.